Hot Sauce Holiday is what would happen if Queen, Prince, and Weird Al Yankovic put on a party at the Moulin Rouge while everybody's watching a Rocky Horror Picture Show in the background. It's an interactive band. We have mostly original songs, all of them with different sounds and just completely different from each other. We don't really stick to one genre. We wear costumes. All the band names have funny names like Boogie Whip, Rambles is our guitarist, Enigma is the bassist, Axe Monkey is the drummer, our pianist is the Rooster, and then of course Christiana Sin of Penthouse and Playboy magazine is our everything. We perform these kind of crazy, it's kind of like watching musical theater but with a rock opera kind of vibe to it. It's something you have to see. I'm the lead singer, and I also create the look, the aesthetic of the show. Like I said, all of us have costumes, and all the costumes are like very specific to the personalities of the characters. I do a lot of dancing. I was a go-go dancer at one point in my life, and so I have all these crazy pieces just left over, and I use them in the band. And I do a lot of dancing. I do a lot of weird proppy, like performance artist stuff. I twirl an umbrella. We have whips and cat masks and a birthday box that I put between Christiana's legs and I fist really hard, and that's a big part of the show. I started in LA as an actor, and then this just kind of came along, and I love it to death. I try to create the vision that people have in their mind of what a rock and roll show would look like, which if you're in the millennial generation and maybe even older, it looks kind of like that Axl Rose, glam rock, early 80s thing. I try to make that picture come to life.
As an actor, how much different is it from doing a full musical like you guys do as opposed to being a singer and all of that?
I don't find it different at all, honestly. Well, I mean, the only thing that is different is you're not necessarily following a script. But I mean, we're not wanting to. We're a cabaret rock and roll show. We're not wanting to be just a band. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Because it's like I grew up with electronica music and R&B. I didn't even hear rock music till I was in my 20s. So I've found that for me, it's like I just took everything I knew in the acting world, including the marketing, advertising, the business side of it, and I just transferred it over here, and it's not really different at all. Yeah, surprisingly.
How old were you when you decided you wanted to be an actor and do all that stuff?
Oh man, young, but probably 12 or 13. Yeah,
Did you see a TV show?
What was it?
What's that bugging you to do it?
I watched a lot of movies with my mom. I had kind of a strange upbringing, which I don't know if I can even talk about here.
Anything you want.
Anything I want. I grew up in Northern California in one of those crazy Jesus cults that you read about, and I didn't have much of an education outside of Jesus and a lot of other very psychotic things. I wasn't in school. I kind of had to teach myself how to, read and write and do math, and then when I got out of all that, I just had to become kind of a hustler and just learn how to survive. And I had, the only thing that I really loved as a kid were movies, because they were just a hell of a fucking escape from what I was living in, which was just absolutely crazy. My mother was very sick, and I took care of her, and blah, blah, blah. And anyway, so I just knew I had to be a part of that somehow. I wasn't sure if I would be a director, a writer, a rock and roll guy. I just knew I had to be part of performance and show because I was surrounded by so much weird humanity that I understood it pretty fucking well at a really young age. So I wanted to show people what I know.
You decided to come down to Southern California. Was there a specific thing you came down here to do? Was it just for acting, or was it just for...
It was initially just for acting, and then the first 3 years kind of sucked ass out here, and but I found myself getting my hand in like every cookie jar, and I've done makeup and costuming, and I'm supposed to try my hand at producing pretty soon. We'll see how that works. And then I'm a personal organizer by day. All this stuff came up, which I think it's pretty common for young people to move to LA, and they want to be one thing. If you stick around, which a lot of people don't, if you stick around, you're going to wind up doing a lot. Otherwise, you're doing it wrong. Yeah.
And you write all the lyrics and stuff too, right?
I don't. I've only written 3 of the soon to be 4 songs. I've only written 3 of the songs myself. Rambles writes pretty much, I would say 95% of the songs, and the rest we all kind of write as a collective. Bacon and Eggs, for example, our new mini rock opera, was written by all of us: Christiana, Enigma, Rooster, me, everybody. But yeah.
The stuff you write, does it come from personal experiences? Does it come from what inspires you?
It comes from stuff that I write. It comes from that big, powerful fuck you that I have deep down inside of me that if you don't have, then get the hell out of LA, because you shouldn't be here. I wrote Dirty Mouth, for example, which is a very sexual, very kind of angry song, but with that slick sense of humor that I like. Dating is fucking awful. It's fucking awful, no matter who you are. And the song isn't about dating, it's just about if I'm gonna be with a woman, I want her to have a dirty mouth. I don't want to date somebody that's, clean cut and looking for Mr. Football guy, this and that, because no, I don't have fucking time, honey. Have a dirty mouth like me, and please have lived a little bit like me before you even come my way. I'm sorry, God bless. So anyway, my songs kind of have that vibe. The rest of them are very funny. They're all very funny. One song, American Man, is sung from the perspective of essentially people that support Trump, and it's ridiculous. There's a song, Black Snake Woman, another one of our sexy pieces that Christiana Sin does this really amazing performance piece to. It's about, actually I don't want to say what that's about. It's about somebody we don't like very much. And Bongo Town is about we all came from Bongo Town and put a band together and moved to Los Angeles and became this rock band. And Bacon and Eggs, it's a mini rock opera. It's about a girl who basically kidnaps various men and ties them up in an upstairs bedroom, and she feeds them bacon and eggs all day long until they escape, and then they meet a very grisly death. And so I play one of the men who escapes, and he winds up encountering all the ghosts of the men that she's killed, and it's just really silly. It's an excuse for us to, for Christiana to put on a chef hat and carry a fry pan with bacon and eggs, and then for the other guys to dress like ghosts with the funny weapons in their heads, and yeah, it's a lot of fun.
As a band, how did that idea come up? Did you guys sit down and...
We, it started actually with Christiana and Rambles, because Christiana, she initially started as just a really good friend of ours. She came to all the shows, and then she started kind of performing with us, and then over time, she became a part of the band, which again has 6 players. She wanted to do some more singing. She was doing more performance piece. And so she and Ramble sat down one night and kind of wrote this thing, Bacon and Eggs. It was this slow kind of down-tempo Elvis Costello kind of thing. And then they brought it to all of us, and then we just let the wheels turn, which is how we work. We'll bring a song to everybody, and then we just try to turn it into whatever it becomes. Anyway, we just let the wheels turn until it this rock opera idea came up, and then this idea of like, what if she's kind of like a hot Kathy Bates, you know, in Misery, and she's holding this guy hostage in the room, you know, and yeah, I don't know that it has any particular meaning behind it or like a moral, but it was fun, and we all came up with it together.